Thank you, Alex. As Alex said, I am the Positive Pathways Programme Coordinator for COBSIO, a nastily named title that I had nothing to do with. However, what is it? So COBSIO is... Oh, hang on, I'm on the wrong slide. Let's get to the right slide. Sorry. COBSIO is the Confederation of Service Charities. We are a membership organisation for the service charities, and we support them in lots of different ways. We have a huge range of memberships. So we have the lady that does cakes in the hospital to the Royal British Legion SAFA Help for Heroes. Positive Pathways, as Alex mentioned, is part of the Armed Forces Covenant Fund Team Grant Programme. I cover the UK as part of the team that support the potential bids. I'm a critical friend. I'm the person that will help you write your bid. I won't write your bid for you, but I'm a great one for the comments block. I work to support your bids. If you're successful, then we are then able to support you in the delivery of that bid. Today, I want to give a very brief overview of the Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust and the Positive Pathways. So a little bit of history. The Armed Forces Covenant Trust was started in 2015. I'm slightly aware that John Shivers is in the room and he probably knows all of this information inside out. If I've got anything wrong, I'm sorry. But hopefully I've got all the details right. They started in 2015 with an annual income of 10 million, which benefited from the MOD LIBOR funds. By the end of March this year, they will have given out over £50 million in supporting a range of programmes, from veterans and their families and their carers to serving personnel and their families. They also manage the LIBOR portfolio and amongst other funds include the Veterans Mental Health and Wellbeing Fund. The Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust have 4 key themes that they must take into account now and as they move forward into their future years. Those are non-core healthcare services for veterans, removing barriers to family life, extra support both in and after service for those who need it most, and measures to integrate military and civilian communities and allow the armed forces community to participate as citizens. Put my teeth in this morning. The Positive Pathways programme is part of a 10 million Veterans and Mental Health and Wellbeing Fund. This is a different type of fund. In 2018, the Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust launched a consultation to help shape this programme. Over 124 respondents made up of individuals and organisations, and there was broad support for this programme that it should back a range of activities, in particular sporting and outdoor-based ones. But there was limited support for residential activities, but people did want to fund more smaller projects rather than less large ones. Giving veterans a choice was a strong emerging theme, along with the opportunities for veterans to be active. There was considerable support for projects to take them outside, and it was felt that this could have a positive impact on their mental well-being. The 2 key characteristics of this fund were felt to be the most important, that the organisation was experienced in supporting people with mental health needs, and that it was part of a life journey that encouraged friendships and better relationships, which reduce social isolation. The Positive Pathways programme, there's 2 funding options. I've just put these 2 slides up. All of the information is on the website, which I will share the link with you later. But basically, it's 2 tranches. There's a 35,000 fund or 70,000. There are key criteria that must be met. Basically, do you have experience of working with veterans? Do you have experience of working with veterans around mental well-being? Are they activity-based? It's very much a veteran-led, veteran-centric projects. The final closing date for this bid is the 6th of March this year, and that will be the final of 3 tranches that they've had. As I said earlier, the Positive Pathways programme is a different way of doing it. There are strategic partners, and as General Chris mentioned, collaborative working is key. And I'm really proud to be part of a programme that has a range of organisations working together to support small charities deliver exciting projects. So, for example, the projects, the organisations that I'm working with, which are on the slides, include Defence Medical Welfare Service, who cover Scotland and England, Walking with the Wounded covering Northern Ireland, Scotland and the North. I appreciate that's not this audience. HAFEL covering Wales, and the Endeavour Fund covers adventurous activities. And as I mentioned earlier, I am the COBSIO rep, so I cover the whole of the UK. I'm off to Manchester this afternoon to prove that the train does go both ways. As also another part of this project is the Grant Impact Tool. And this is a very exciting new tool. Lots of organisations, we all know going out for a walk is good for you. Those of you that maybe play golf or shoot or fish will argue that it's good for you. The jury's out. But the Grant Impact Tool will enable us to produce the evidence that what these activities are doing have a positive impact. And the impact that this will have is on 3 tools. So the tool is developed by the Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust and the Anglo-Ruskin University. So it comes with science. I'm not even going to pretend to talk about that, but it comes from a base of science, and it enables the projects to measure where their veterans are at when they arrive in the project, and then once they can measure them maybe 2 or 3 times as they go through, and they will hopefully see an improvement. It will give them evidence that there is that improvement. It will empower the veteran because they will feel that they're taking ownership. And actually, yeah, I did go underwater woodwelding and it was really good and I feel a lot better for it. It will also give small organisations evidence-based results. Now, we're all in this world and it's very much an evidence-based driven market. They will have evidence-based results, so when they then move to go for further funding, they will be able to say that, yes, no, going for a walk does help people's well-being, and this is the evidence. So it starts to build sustainability into some of these smaller organisations. It will also have the opportunity to affect change. So it will affect how the Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust does their grant bid-making decisions moving forward. I'm hoping it will stop the Good Ideas Club, but let's not be too sure about that. It will also, through the science that's behind it, eventually be able to affect long-term policy. So it's a very interesting part of the programme, and this is available currently for all of the Positive Pathways programme successful bids. But again, the goal is long-term to have this to deliver for all of Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust successful bids. Excuse me. Right, now, I was very pleased to see on the SCIP side that they had actually mentioned this. This is about consultation. Now, as many of you may know, the Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust currently only has one fund open for applications, which is the Positive Pathways bid, which closes in March. However, they recognise the impact that that consultation has had on the fund. So they now have a consultation open on. It's about the small grants fund, but it enables you to have your say to talk about what you want to see happen with the Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust. So that if you want to apply, if you think that there should be something, please go onto the Armed Forces Covenant Fund website, look at the consultation and fill it out. Because we need to say that actually we think these are the sort of bases that we want. We want to have support around the small grants bid rather than just 3 really large grants. What we want is 33 really small ones. But if we don't say this on that consultation process, then we can't argue or complain when they say, actually, no, we've decided we're going to do this. So they want to support both local grants and larger grants made under the Families in Stress programme. They're very aware that isolation can be a key issue in the Armed Forces family. I've lived and worked in the Armed Forces community for more years than I care to count, having been married to a service personnel. Service life is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic, but it is not without its complexities. So if we can work together to make sure that we can reduce some of this isolation, reduce some of these families feeling in this way, then I think that it's a really important thing to do. So I would urge you to have a look at the consultation. It's on their Armed Forces Covenant Fund Trust website, sorry. It's under small grants, but just please follow the link and have your say. I'm going to be taking questions a little bit later around the Positive Pathways piece, so if there's anything that you've got about that, or get me at lunchtime. But thank you very much indeed for your time, and I will answer the questions later. If my contact details are there, if you've got any questions, just give me a shout. Thank you.